NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? I hope you're right. You should be. Why is that? Oh, it's because it's Monday. Don't you love Mondays? It's Monday, November 18. This is NBA Straya, and I am your host, James Clements. You can see my ugly mug on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show, the AFL Today show, NFL Straya, all the good stuff here in Larry Armour Studios, where I'll be this week. Solo dadding. As old mates off in the US of A. Pretty gnarly. We might have one show in the studio, but either way. We've got a big weekend to wrap in this one. So we're going to fly through all the game wraps. We're going to do some weekend winners and losers, and there are some interesting ones. I'll tell you that much. We've also, of course, as per usual, got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. We've got some the unpopular opinion of the day, and Outback Takehouse. We're serving up a flame-grilled take. There is an Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba Award, and there's a pick and preview for all the games tomorrow. There's a couple of really interesting ones as well. So that'll be fun. Seriously, but what a weekend it was. We're going to get into that. So let's just bloody well get into it, shall we? It's episode 1156 of NBA Straya. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya. You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the Shaq Attack.
You better, because it was announced over the weekend that it looks like Inside the NBA will be on ESPN/ABC. No longer on TNT when they lose the NBA rights after this year. So that's good. The Shaq Attack will continue the way it was probably always going to, and made commercial sense for absolutely everybody. And this is good, because hopefully it means we get Inside the NBA on ESPN instead of having to deal with the absolutely horrendous rubbish they keep throwing at us in their halftime and pregame shows, which are just basically an ad for Stephen A. Smith's radio show, I'm pretty sure, and Greeny in the morning, whatever the hell his show is. Yeah. So that's good. So that means we get Kenny, Chuck, Shaq, Ernie. No doubt ESPN will probably try to shoehorn a bunch of their dudes into it, but we'll see what happens. Either way, big weekend to get into, so let's start with the daily. Oh, it's a whip around at the gym. Yep, we're flying through today's show. Why is that? Is it because you hung over from going to Dropkick Murphy's last night, James? Yes. Nah, not too bad, actually. The 11 p.m. finish time, a few tins on a school night. But the problem is for me is waking up for NFL at 5 a.m. And brutal. I'll tell you that much. It turns into a very long Monday for your mate Jim. But she'll be right. Dropkick Murphys, what a band. I kind of wish I was going tonight as well, because sort of played, I think the thing was we're playing 50 songs over 2 nights, and only, there's 5 or 6 crossover. That's awesome. So that'd be fun. But last night was great. Got to hang out with my little brother and my mate. And just sort of hung out. And then old mate jetted off yesterday, so I'm solo dadding. So it's, as I mentioned, I think on Friday's show, it'd be interesting to see. I think the plan is to do a daily show each this week. Just a heads up, though, I just don't know if there'll be one on Wednesday, maybe. But either way, we'll still try to make sure we get the daily show. It's just a bit tricky with the squid pickups and getting the show up and done in a timely manner. Right, there's a bit of housekeeping. I actually feel pretty good for, the few tins that I did have last night. I didn't have too many because I'm being responsible. Right, the news. LaMelo got fined $100,000 for what was termed an offensive and derogatory comment. He said no homo. We loaded up no homo. And so, A, LaMelo's an idiot for saying that. B, $100,000 for saying that is, we're getting punitive at this point. But yeah, I don't know. Don't say dumb stuff like that, LaMelo. In your brain, if you're going to drop that, it's kind of funny. At the same time, it's just impossibly stupid for LaMelo to just still be saying that. It's just amazingly dumb. Anyway, good job by LaMelo. Good job by the NBA going $100,000. Maybe, look, as soon as that dude wraps his next Lambo around a bloody telephone pole, we'll wonder about where these fines are all going. Maybe it'll stop him from buying that one Lambo that'll put itself around a telephone pole. Just saying. Either way, Charles Lee, the coach of the Hornets, said that he was very apologetic. And then there was like a statement about, I think there was a Instagram post from him just like, oh, really? 100 grand? Jesus. So I don't know how apologetic he is now that he has to pay $100,000 for saying, we loaded up, no homo. And it's like, yeah, he's an idiot. 100 grand lighter for being a moron. Good job, LaMelo Ball. Ant-Man got fined. It's fine week as well. Everybody got fined. Ant-Man got fined 35 grand for flipping off some fans. That was pretty funny. I mean, 35 grand for giving some fans the middle finger. That's pretty funny. Like, you're Ant-Man. That's $35,000 you're not going to see again just so you could give the finger to a bunch of fans. Sure, sucked in. Doc Rivers got fined $25,000 as well for his criticism of the officiating after their loss to the Hornets, which is pretty funny. He came in after in the post-game interview, he said, this is back-to-back games now. We're on the final play. There's been an incorrect call made. LaMelo Ball fell. He just fell down. No one was near him. He slipped on his own. We'd come up with the ball. The game is over. He's not wrong. He did just fall over. Sucked in, Doc. Speaking of the NBA coming out after the fact and going, oh, yeah, we screwed that up. The Celtics overtime game winner from Jayson Tatum against the Raptors. Yeah, he traveled, they say. So, do the Raptors get that win? No, they don't. It's basically the NBA going, yeah, we screwed up, but sucked in. Like that. And also, we got another one where they came out and said, you know how, we'll talk about Draymond at length later on. You know how Draymond tripped up that big rookie? Yeah, it's a flagrant one. We didn't call it on the day, but we're saying it is now. So, okay. Anyway, two little bits. On top of this, Joel Embiid is listed as questionable for tomorrow's game against the Heat with an illness. Is he honest? Does he have too much cowbell? Has he been eating too many cows? No one's entirely sure. But he has an illness. Maybe it can be cured by not playing basketball. Checks out. That's very Joel Embiid. And inside the NBA, that's very cool. As I mentioned at the top, in the Shaq Attack, it'll appear on ESPN and ABC as part of the settlement between Warner Brothers Discovery, Jones TNT, and the NBA. They basically, after the league didn't accept Warner Brothers Discovery's like counter matching offer for one of the packages in the media deal because the NBA didn't want them to. And they were just like, nah, we don't like your package. It's not as good as this one. Warner Brothers Discovery sued them. And the deadline to have the lawsuit dismissed is this week. So it seems like this is part of a settlement, which includes also just giving them like essentially content rights across House of Highlights, across Bleacher Report, across TNT, which also still shows a bunch of basketball around the world. So basically it means you have unlimited access to like highlights and blah, 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 blah. So they can re-show stuff essentially on TNT. That's why you buy media rights. That's why you're part of media rights packages. Anyway, there you go. That's all the news from the weekend. We had a whole bunch of other stuff, though. So let's go back to Saturday, where we had the NBA Cup Day 2. Your mate Jim went 9-12 on these picks. I'm just saying on Saturday. It was a good one. Anyway, let's fly through the game wraps. NBA Cup Day 2. The Heat beat the Pacers 124-111. Bam, went bam. 30-11-7 for him. Jared McCain put up a fight for the Sixers, but nobody else did because that team just stinks. They got smoked by the Magic in the fourth quarter, 98-86. They end up losing. Oh, geez, it must have been tough without Joel Embiid and Paul George, Jim. No, they had them. They were just rubbish. That's right, Paul George went 4 of 15 and Joel Embiid went 5 of 15. Jared McCain is like, how am I the best player on this team? This is ridiculous. I'm a rookie. I do fun TikToks. I shouldn't be the best player on the Philadelphia 76ers. That's right. The two dudes making like $1 billion between them shot 9 of 30 in an NBA Cup game. Anyway, sucked in. Magic. Franz Wagner had 31-11-6 because he's a weapon. Pistons held off the Raptors 99-95. Thank you, Detroit. They are my favorite team. Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl had 25-18. Not enough. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey are crushing it. Ivey had 14 in that one. 15 and 10 for Cade, but it was 12-8 for Jalen Duren. Yeah, the 20 for Beasley. Yeah, they just do it all. I love them. The Hawks beat the Wizards. The Wizards like, but that was our bogey team. We've beaten nobody but Atlanta because Dyson Daniels went, shut up, nerds. I'm going to steal the ball 6 more times. He had 25 and 6, did the vacuum, a.k.a. the Bendigo Bandit, a.k.a. the Great Barrier Thief. 129-117. Big win for the Hawks. They're flying. Kaka, the Cavs. That's right. Cleveland. 144-126 smashed the Bulls. Donnie Mitchell had 37 and 7. 14-0 the Cavs. We'll talk about them in a second and weekend winners. Nets, Knicks, Battle of the Boroughs. The Knicks held on to beat them 124-122 despite the Nets coming all the way back because Cam Thomas had 43. Brunson had 37 and 7. That's the win. Lakers 120, Spurs 115. Anthony Davis versus Victor Wembanyama. It's like it feels like the evolution of a Pokemon, doesn't it? AD and Wemby, but Wemby wasn't as good as AD. AD had 40 and 12. Wemby had 28 and 14. The Rockets, they beat the Clippers 125-104 in the James Harden Bowl. James Harden stunk it up at 21 and 6. Just not enough. He's cooked. 101, the Pelicans beat the Nugs 94. What? Nikola Jokic, hello. Wasn't playing, and so this is what happens. I'm going to talk about that again later. The Thunder held off the Suns. Actually, to be honest, that was a good win for the Pels. They needed it desperately. They were 3-9. Now they're 4-9. Thunder beat the Suns, the Thunder Suns, 99-83. The Suns don't have KD. Devin Booker couldn't hit a shot, and they got smashed. They got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
The Warriors beat the Grizzlies 123-118. This was my favorite game of this day. The Grizzlies were down like 20, came flying back out of absolutely nowhere to cover. Thank you, 123-118. It was so silly, and I'm like, I was so happy. Anyway, good job by the Warriors, apart from the bit where Draymond tripped up Zach. It just grabbed his leg because he's a piece of shit. Steph had 13, shot 4 of 9. Wiggins shot 5 of 14, had 13, and they won. Buddy Hield had 18. Podziemski was crushing it. And yeah, no one on the Grizzlies did much apart from Jaren Jackson Jr. at 32. Anyway, good stuff there. The Wolves beat the Kangs despite De'Aaron Fox having 60. It was insane. They beat them in overtime because Ant-Man is a weapon. That's a franchise record for the Kings for Fox. He dropped 60. It was stupid. Ant-Man had 36 in the end. And the Wolves get a much-needed win. Saturday, we had the Hornets get past the Bucks, as mentioned, because LaMelo got fouled. 26, 9, and 6 for him. Giannis had 22, 15, and 12. Not enough. Sucked in Milwaukee. Is it Algonquin for the good land? Not anymore. Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle is just like, am I the best player in the Raptors? He had 35 and 12 against the Celtics as they lost that game in overtime. Tatum hits the game-winning buzzer-beating 3, but he traveled 24, 11, and 9 for him. The Lakers turned around on a back-to-back and beat the Pelicans 104-99 in the Anthony Davis Bowl. AD had 31 and 14. Spindles Ingram had 32, 8, and 3 steals against his old team. The Mavs beat the Spurs 110-93. Dan Gafford went off in that one, I think. Yeah, 22 and 7. Pretty bloody good. And the Kangs beat the Yaz. It's a soft G. 121-117. Because De'Aaron Fox went, I had 60 yesterday. Here's another 49 and 9 on your head. Ridiculous territories, I'll tell you. Anyway, and then today we had the Wolves just Julius Randle hitting a game-winning 3. Who saw that one coming? As time expires, just laces it. Bang. Joe Ingles did the inbounds. That was kind of cool. He ends up with 35 and 7. Out Jules Devin Booker had 44, 7, and 7. 119, the Pacers beat the Heat. 110, Miles Turner went off in that one. It was pretty good. The Cavs, 15 and 0. 15! What a great call that was. LaMelo Ball, 31 and 12. Cavs took a bit to get by them and sort of then just sort of like they didn't have Donnie Mitchell, Darius Rucker, Judy Garland at 25 and 12. They ran away with it in the end. 128-114. Awesome game. The Cavs are unreal. 124-104. The Pistons just beat the piss out of the Wizards with a Cade Cunningham triple-double, 21, 10, and 10. The Grizzlies, the shorthanded Grizzlies beat this horrible Nuggets team, 105-90. I'm going to talk about the Nuggets in a second. The Blazers, it was an all-Aussie battle, kind of. The other Aussies didn't get on the court. Dyson Daniels had a shocker. Couldn't hit a shot. Trae Young just sort of stunk it up as well. The Blazers beat the Hawks, 114-110. I love this Blazers team. They're so chaotic. I'm going to talk about them in a second as well. Knicks beat the Nets 114-104 in their back-to-back battle of the boroughs. Karl Anthony Towns hurt himself a couple of times because he's cat. That's just what he does. 26, 15, and 6. Cam Johnson had 22. The Nets just are not good. Ben Simmons was bad. 143-107 for Houston in Chicago. That was an absolute ass kicking. And God, it was good if you bet the Rockets. This game was over at halftime. It was like 68, like 52, I think. And then they just curbed something from there. And like, it's sad in Chicago at times. But again, as I said, their defense is that bad. It's hilarious. The Mavs held off the Thunder 121-119 without LUKA. PJ Hamilton Washington had 27 and 17. SGA had 36. Kyrie hit a big three late. But the Mavs tried the absolute hardest to gack this game away. They hold on, thankfully, because it got them back to 7-7. Thunder dropped to 11-3. And finally, the Clippers beat the Jazz 116-105. Jazz made a bit of a late run. It was not enough. Good job by the Clippers there, 6-7. So, big weekend. In terms of the NBA Cup, so those games on Saturday, obviously, were the NBA Cup, games, because you have those every Wednesday and Saturday for us. And so if you look at the NBA Cup after that and like basically how it's working, my favorite thing in the world is that there is one clear winner in the East and in the West. Actually, there's a couple. Actually, in the East, it's surprising. So the Magic and Knicks are 2-0. The Pistons are 2-0 on top of Group B. That's my favorite. The Pistons are 2-0 in East Group B. They could win it. The Hawks are East Group C's leader because remember, they beat the Celtics earlier last week and then they got the win on Saturday. Huge. And the Warriors are the big one in the West Group C. So everything else is a little bit squirrely. We'll know more by the end of this week, but still. Let's do some weekend winners and losers, shall we? Yes. Press the button, Jim.
Oh my God. I won! I won! Recapping our day's top story, the winner of today's
State Lottery is me. There you go. Also, the Cleveland. That's right. Cleveland Cavaliers, an absolute juggernaut. 15-0. Dropped 144 on the Bulls, 128 today on Charlotte without Donovan Mitchell. The best offense in the league, the seventh best defense, and they have an absolute barn-burning game against the Boston Celtics this week. That is going to be all. Could they go 16-0? This could be awesome. Cleveland. Absolutely awesome. LeBron James is another winner. He saw his run of triple-doubles come to an end, but they got 2 wins. So the Lakers are also winners. They got by the Spurs to get to 8-4. They got by the Pelicans, so they're 9-4. Of course, both those teams aren't very good. But Anthony Davis is on an absolute tear, and Dalton Connect looks good. So they're a massive winner if they've actually finally managed to hit on a bloody draft pick outside of like Austin Reeves. Like, great job. Dalton Connect looks pretty fucking handy, I tell you. Houston, there's another team that did a demo job on the weekend. They absolutely demolished and marauded the Clippers and Chicago. Like, it was awesome. They beat the Clippers at home and then went on the road and killed. They straight killed the Chicago Bulls, didn't they?
So he got straight killed.
Back-to-back triple-doubles for Şengün. He's crushing it. They look awesome. Houston are absolutely flying and on top of their division and third in the West. They're 10-4. Houston are good. It's unreal. I love it. Too many dudes, though. Anyway, Dallas just. They were the 17-point win over the Spurs and then the OKC game. Look, they did it without LUKA. They had it under control. And it came all the way down to the wire because they kept screwing up at the end. And they still won without LUKA, though. So it's okay. That is huge because they needed these 2 wins desperately to get to 7-7, did the Mavs. But they did it. So that was very, very good. Well done, Dallas. We're all very proud of you. But jeez. The Golden State Warriors, they just don't lose anymore. They're 10-2. And then they're back on top of the West. How did this happen? What are we doing? It's not the bloody mid-20 It's 2024 and they're on top of the West. This sucks. They're 10-2. Bloody hell. Anyway, they're 4-1 at home, 6-1 away. The fact that they're 6-1 away is just terrifying considering that this team could be an absolute just juggernaut at home. Anyway, yeah, we're back on. So we talked Dallas. We hit Golden State. There's also a team called the Celtics. They're pretty good. They've won back-to-back games. Took a bunch, though, to get by the Raptors. It feels like the Celtics are just flying through some of these games on the absolute seat of their pants, right? Like, the Raptors stink. They've got no healthy players. They're basically in the hardship exception, and they push the Celtics all the way. They did kill the Nets. They lost to the Hawks, though, like last week. The Celtics are fine. Good on them. But, wow. The fact that it took a buzzer-beating Jayson Tatum game winner to get by the Raptors. Yeesh. Gross. The Wolves. Talk about desperately needed wins just like Dallas. The Wolves got 2 massive wins to get to 8-6. So they're at least above 500 with those 2 wins. They held off a 60-point game to win in overtime against the Kings. And that game was incredible. Ant-Man hitting shots coming out his ass. And then today they turn around and beat the Suns on a Julius Randle game-winning three. Because sure, the thing is the Wolves just need to, like, this is the thing with the Wolves and the Mavs. They just need to get these sort of wins in and banked at the moment as they try to figure this out. The same thing goes for this next team. The Knicks, they're weekend winners because they got back-to-back Burrow wins over the Nets. Yes, the first one was tough, but the second one was like, no, we are way better than this team, and let's prove it. So their offense is flying for the Knicks. The defense needs to be a little bit more improved, but they got two big wins over the weekend, and they're the 4 seed. They're 7-6. It's okay. As you try to figure all this stuff out, just keep getting wins. That's what matters. Orlando, speaking of getting wins, they're 8-6. They're third in the East, and they've won 5 on the trot now. This is what I said, right? Without Paolo, they had like this really tough stretch where they had like essentially like a 3-game run where it was always going to be brutal. But then it opened up a little bit. And then they've turned around and gone, screw opening it up. Yeah, what they lost 5 in a row as soon as they basically lost Paolo in the Chicago game. And then they played the Cavs, the Mavs, the Thunder, and the Pacers. Lost all those games as well. And then got the Pelicans, the Wizards, the Hornets, beat the Pacers, then beat the Sixers. And like luckily all those games came at home. So the thing is, I guess maybe just Orlando at home is good. Orlando away is bad because the 5 losses that they caught before that on the road. I'm just saying, like, it is funny because their entire away record is 1-6. Their home record is 7-0. We like the magic at home, don't we? Yes, we do, Jim. Yes, we do. Outside of this, Detroit basketball. Yes, their 2 wins over the weekend came against Toronto and they smashed the Wizards. Do not care. They're 7-8. They are legitimately a basketball team. Well, kind of. They're not a playoff contender, you reckon, but they're good. Like, they're not rubbish, rather, if that makes sense. They're 2-0 in the NBA Cup, which is amazing. And this is the exact thing. The same as the Pacers last year, right? No one really expected too much from the Pacers going into last season. Halliburton's a star. These guys have got Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. They got Jalen Duren. They added the veterans around them. Awesome. Very smart. 2-0 in the NBA Cup. If you can sneak another win, maybe get another one and win the group, watch out. You're laughing. You're on your way to Vegas at some point, maybe. That could be cool. I love that. Let's go Pistons. Same thing goes to Portland. They've won their last 3. 2 of them came against the Wolves, and then they took care of this weird, discombobulated Atlanta team that's better without Trae Young, ? This is my entire thing. That's great, Portland. Now you can trade Anthony Penny Simons. Like, trade Jeremiah Grant. You don't need him. Like, you're good-ish without him. And I'd rather just play Shaedon Sharpe all the time. Jeremiah Grant, he had 9 points today, 5 fouls, shot 4 of 10, and you won despite him. Because Scoot Henderson was absolutely out there crushing, and Delano Banton is apparently the next Michael Jordan. It's ridiculous. I love it. Trade Simons, trade Grant, trade one of your bigs, load up, let's go Blazers. And the Wizards, but Jim, they've lost 8 straight. Don't care. This is how you tank. This is just, it is some of the most egregiously bad basketball you can watch right now. The Washington Wizards, they're 2-10, and amazingly, that actually leaves them in only 13th in the East because the Sixers and the Raptors are even worse. It's the best, isn't it? The Jazz losing again today as well. It doesn't help, but yeah, look, that's just good tanking too. So we'll chuck the Jazz on there. Right, what about losers for the weekend?
We're not losers. No, you two are winners. Big winners. When I grow up, I want to marry a big winner like you guys.
Shut
up.
Losers.
Loser.
Losers. All right, let's do it. The losers, Milwaukee. It's not out gonking from the good land because you can't be out there losing games to the Hornets, can you, Doc? It was the ref's fault. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Does anyone love a whinge more than Doc Rivers? Like anybody. That dude loves a whinge more than I love a goddamn icy cold frothy tin watching the Dropkick Murphys, apparently. I think my favorite thing last night was the joke I made. Oh, geez, Jimmy, you're going to tell us your joke? Yeah, it was good. I love that they sold out a Sunday night show because, like, the entire point is, like, that crowd don't really have to stress about drinking on a school night because they don't have custody of their kids. And And also, like, do they have jobs? I love the Dropkick Murphys, and that crowd is it's so awesome. I love them. They're just so nice. Just jokes, mate. Just jokes. Anyway, Milwaukee, they're losers, dogged by the refs, but you can't be losing to Charlotte. Seriously, when you're getting triple doubles from Giannis, it's just, they stink. The team is so bad. They're 4-9. Anyway, the Sixers, speaking of stinking, they've lost 3 straight again. They're 2-10. Oh, but geez, wait till, like, Paul George and Joel Embiid come back. They are back! And they're still bad! So they've got to figure it out. So they lose to the Knicks, the Cavs, and the Magic over the weekend. The Magic one was obviously the NBA Cup game. They get a little bit of a couple of days off. But with Embiid already questionable for tomorrow, relief is just not exactly around the corner, right? Like, Embiid and George were horrible against Orlando, and it was hilarious. I was watching that game go, this is just, hook this to my veins. Like, Philly, what are you doing? So they're in this really, really tough spot now where I'm like, they'll be fine, they'll be fine. Now we're getting to a point, you've already got 10 losses. You're 2-10. You've got to win 8 straight just to get to 500. I literally broke down the numbers last week in the middle of the week, and now they've lost another 3 games. It's much worse. So we might do another power rankings this week, and it's just going to be like, cooked, mate. Cooked. Start tanking, Philly. Start tanking. Anyway, good work, everybody. Next one, Denver. Back-to-back losses. They lose to the Pelicans and Memphis, both of who just don't have anybody. So Denver, they are massive weekend losers because no Jokic, no hope, which might actually be why he should just always win MVP, because without him, they're the worst team in the NBA non-Washington division, right? They're horrible. They stink. They're just atrocious without the best player in basketball. Oh, really, Jim? Is that right? Yeah, should we fire it up? Ring-a-ding-ding-ding. Oh, duh! When you don't have the best player in basketball, your team's not as good. No shit, Sherlock. But I also kind of feel like this is the thing where you go, hey, Michael Porter Jr., how much are we paying you? And he's like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like, all right, so do you want to give us more than 10 points? He's like, nah, I don't know, man. RFK's in charge now, so I'm fucking in ascendance. Check this out. It's like, oh, you're the worst. Jamal Murray, I'll talk about him again in a second, but yeah, it's not going great. Denver just stink. And this is the thing. So you can have Calvin Booth going, we're doing a youth thing with, like, our draft picks. We're smarter than everybody. It's like, yeah, but if you don't have Jokic for any games and you're this shit and losing to teams that barely would be in the G League, like, do you think that's good? Like, Desmond Bain came back and he was, like, out there for the Grizz and they beat the Nugs. But you've still got Jamal Murray and you've got Michael Porter Jr. and you've got your heads kicked in. That is loser vibes. Same sort of goes for Phoenix. No KD, no hope. Devin Booker drops 44 and they still lost to the Wolves, which is obviously a tough game, but they were right there and they probably should have won it. But I don't know. That's just a weird mix that they've got there in Phoenix. They're also still in the figuring it out sort of vibe, so that's okay. You lose KD, I can deal with that one. You can lose a couple of games. But anyway, Atlanta, dropping that one in Portland. Are you a real team, Atlanta? Like, as I sort of hit on just before, Trae Young, when he plays, you're like, are Atlanta better without Trae Young? Well, they can beat the Wizards without Trae Young, but they can also beat the Clippers without Trae Young. Go figure. What a world we live in. But yeah, Trae Young actually came back for the Wizards game and they won because Dyson went off on the weekend again. But yeah, Trae Young was horrible in that game and they won despite him. And then they lost in Portland. So Atlanta are just, I don't know, gross. Hey, the Pacers got a big win today, but that loss to Miami on Saturday, basically, you can't be losing to Miami, Indy, in the NBA Cup. They are the most frustrating team to talk about, Indy, because they have these games like today where they beat the Heat, who they lost to on the weekend. And you're like, so which one are you? And they're like, we don't even know, Jim. Yet Halliburton shoot 4 of 13. He's just like, I'm always kind of a bit hurt. Nothing sort of works good. It's like, well, you are in a lot of ads for a dude who's not crushing it. Every sort of second game, he has a shit game. And so this is the one thing I want you to keep an eye on. Tyrese Halliburton plays a good game, then plays a shit game. It's just what he does. So if you go back to the start of November, 2 of 8, 11 points. 10 of 16, 25 and 12. Next game, 17 points, 6 of 11, not bad. But then he has 2-11. Brutal. Then it goes 11 of 18 for 35 and 14 against the Knicks. Then goes 3 of 14 for 9 points. Then goes 7 of 14 for 18 and 8. They get the loss against the Heat. And then today, 4 of 13. It's like, yeah, good shit. Good shit. Good shit. It's the Tyrese Halliburton experience. And that's why they're so inconsistent. Draymond Green is a loser just because he is. I'll talk about him again in a second. And the refs. So the end of the Raptors-Celtics game, if you were watching that, it was an absolute horror show. Pirtle should have been called for 3 seconds. Tatum fouled Pirtle in the same possession. Davion Mitchell fouled Jaylen Brown. Tatum traveled before the game-winning shot. Great job, everybody. Just a great job. All right, let's do an NBA Straya pre-performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Tell you what, Anthony Davis, 40 and 12 with 2 blocks, 2 assists, and a steal. Then 31-14, 2 steals and a block. That's a pretty bloody big weekend. Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl, he's out there absolutely crushing it because he goes and has, the 35 up against Boston, right? And then turns around, he has 35 and 12, but that came after the 25 and 18 against the Detroit Basketball Pistons. Not bad. He's like, I'm the only healthy dude we've got, Jim. It's fine. LeBron, he had 15, 16, and 12. That was his 4th straight triple-double. Considering that he's older than the sun, that's pretty incredible. He then backed it up with a 21, 7, and 5 against the Pelicans, so the run of triple-doubles finishes. He had the 44, 6, and 7, or the 44, 7, and 7, depending on where you're getting your stats, for Devin Booker against the Wolves. But Julius Randle, game-winning 3. Oh, cold-blooded! 35, 4, and 7 for Randle. Huge gear, but of course, the NBA Straya pre-performance of the weekend's got to go to De'Aaron Fox because he scored 109 points in 24 hours. He dropped 60 on the Wolves and then 49 and 9 against the Yaz. It's a soft J. De'Aaron swiper to Fox. Holy bloody shit. That was awesome. He's going to pop up again later. Who was Spud of the night, though?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Oh, we had plenty of Spuds over the weekend, didn't we? Had Luke Kennard, the Duckman, quack, quack. We also had, who else was there? There was a good, Scottie Pippen Jr. went 0 of 6, so did Haywood Highsmith. Brutal. Derek Jones Jr. and Nurkic went 0 of 7 as well. Jamal Murray, though, he's going to pop up again in a second. 6 of 15 with 6 turnovers on 13 points. 1 of 8 shooting for Tari Eason. 2 of 10 for Booker in that game on Saturday. Cumdog millionaire. Oh, Johnny Kuminga. 3 of 13. 3 of 12 for Grady Dick and Scottie Pippen Jr. So that's a 3 of 18 weekend for Scottie Pippen Jr. Yeesh. 3 of 15 for Austin Reeves as well. Some pretty bloody brutal ones, I'll tell you that much. But in terms of the excellent ones, and of course, considering that they're here like in a couple of weeks, who went and shot the magic number? No, pal. Ron Holland, Keldon Johnson, Spindles Miller from 3, and Scoot Henderson all on this weekend shot. Woo! Yeah! They shot 311, baby! How good was that? Oh, yeah. Big weekend for the Spuds. And we are also doing the Ben Simmons tracker, of course. Talking of Spuds of the night and Spuds of the weekend, he had a Barry Crocker shocker in the 2 games against New York to the point where he had 4, 7, and 5 in 25 minutes on Saturday. And then today had 0 points on 3 shots, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. So, but if you wanted to keep up, the turnovers are now at 26. The personal fouls are at 29. The made shots are now 25. Below both. It's a rough one, I'll tell you. Who's old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Anthony Davis. He's out there dropping these massive stat lines. And he's on this huge run at the moment. Anthony Davis, where in like his last 7 games, he's just putting up absolutely absurd stats, right? He's like second in the NBA in scoring. He had 31 and 14 over the weekend, 40 and 12. He's had then 21 and 14, 22 and 4, 31, 9 and 4 blocks, 37, 9 and 4, 38 and 11. And the ESPN graphic is like LeBron having a 16, 10 and 12 triple-double. Anthony Davis is like, what the hell more can I do, bro? I'm like the second best leading scorer in the NBA. It sucks. It stinks. And then the other old mate, no mates, is Jamal Murray copping it for He went to, UFC 309 in between the games on the current road trip for the Nugs. He rips off a devastating 13 points and 6 turnovers on 6 of 15 shooting as they lost to the Grizz in Memphis with nobody on the Grizzlies. Yeah, so that's an interesting one. It's like, how's your veteran leadership? I'm all for like NBA players doing whatever the fuck they want in between games. I don't give a shit. But it is a tough one for like, you jump on the old team bus and it's like, I'm a leader. It's like, oh yeah, how was New York, dickhead? Did you enjoy the UFC, Jamal? Tough one, I'll tell you. Pantsing of the night. SGA got Derek Lively at the rim, and Devin Booker got Rudy Gobert at the rim. There is nothing better for a pantsing than a small guy blocking a big guy. This is the general rule for pantsing. That is the most pantsing you could ever get. Like, unless you're nutmegging somebody, passing the ball through their legs, what else? But yeah, there's nothing better than a small guy blocking a big dude. So that's a pantsing. Better than Lonzo Ball!
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. Şengün with the back-to-back triple-doubles. He's too good, I think, now for the better than Bronny James, Ben Simmons, Lonzo Ball conversation. So we'll park Şengün. He is retired. Kobe White probably is as well now, though. He is a very fun comp, and he is on Lonzo's team. 29 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 6 of 11 from 3. The Bulls are just absolutely getting towed, though. Jaden Ivey, same sort of boat as Kobe White, that sort of mid-lottery pick. Ivey with the 28 and 8. Very nice. But look, this is going to go to these dudes. Shaedon Sharpe, 32, 2 and 5 with 3 steals and a massive win today over Atlanta. He shot 11 of 21 from the floor, 3 of 8 from 3. And this is why I'm like, screw it. Trade Anthony Simons. I love Anthony Simons, but Portland, you've got Shaedon Sharpe. Let Shaedon Sharpe cook. The other two are rookies. Dalton Knecht, 27 points on the weekend, 10 of 17 shooting, 5 of 9 from 3, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He was huge next to AD. And then Jared McCain, TikTok Maxi. He's a weapon. I love him. 29 points, 10 of 17 shooting, 5 of 10 from downtown, 4 assists, 1 rebound. As I said earlier, he's going to be sitting there going, how am I the best player on this Sixers team? This guy over here, the big bloke who can't run up and down the court anymore, he won the MVP. This is ridiculous. Jared McCain, Dalton Knecht, Shaedon Sharpe, Jaden Ivey, Kobe White, all better than Lonzo Ball, all better than Bronny James, and all better than Ben Simmons. All right, it is Monday. Do you reckon we got a pretty good one on the weekend? Because we got one of the great ones, I reckon, because it's time for this one. It is the magic tweet of the week. Just sad, smack my head. I cut it off because I couldn't watch anymore. It's sad to see Mike Tyson like this because I went to every Tyson fight. This fight tonight was not great for boxing. Okay. That's a sad magic. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I like sad, angry magic. I only like happy magic, just telling me the results of games that have already happened. Now I'm just weirded out. And finally, this is an obvious one. It's the Draymond Green Memorial
Dickhead of the Week.
That is being won by Draymond Green. That's right, because he went and absolutely did some dirty dog bullshit. Draymond Green is back, baby. Hey, I'm a changed man. I'm really mature. Hey, is that a giant big white guy? Give me his leg. I'm going to fucking trip him. Draymond is fucked in the head. He literally just laying on the ground, flat out, just grabbed Zach Edey's leg and tried to fucking trip the dude. Draymond Green is a giant fucking piece of shit. What a massive dog act. Like, does he... Obviously, Draymond Green thinks Zach Edey's European because that's why he's having a crack at him, but he might be just like, all right, big white guy. Huge big white guy, fuck him. I'm going to just do something real dirty. Check this out. Absolute dog act. Fuck you, Draymond Green. Blow it out your ass. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Daryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington. or commonly known as Wertho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You listen to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. Let's do some yeah nahs. One from Matty G. Not so much on the back of this weekend, more so last weekend. Why wouldn't a playoff team throw a short-term contract at Bubbles late in the year if they need a break glass in case of emergency volume shooter? Yeah, nah, I actually fucking love this, and it's been weird that Chris Goulding has been sitting over here in the NBL for so long now, and the NBA just like at the end of the season just haven't gone, yeah, fuck it. Over you come. We know that you can't really play any defense. Now you're old as crap, but at the same time, there's not too many people on the face of this planet that can get hotter than Chris Goulding. Like, he's an NBA level shooter, and it's weird that no one's just gone fuck it and just like had a bit of a crack. Like one of those fringe playoff contenders, maybe on someone like Atlanta or something. It's like, fuck it. If we need just like a bunch of threes in absolutely no time, let's have a crack. That's a great idea. It's a good one. Thank you, Matty G. All right, IMB, my favorite painter out there west. I still think the early overreactions could be bigger. Dyson is still on track to break the record for steals in a season. Yeah, I could have overreacted more to the Dyson Daniels thing because I just wanted to be like a little bit, 6, 7 steals a game is just like absurd. And he had a bit of a quieter one today. It's going to happen. But it is fucking insane that he is on track and on pace to just fucking smash the record for steals in the season. He could do it. It would be amazing. Let's go Dyson. I'm all here for it. Danny D also had the other one. How good was that Alice Utah game the other day? Absolutely no D in Dallas. The Luka brain fade on the Utah last possession is hilarious and probably why he won't win an MVP. It's one of these things, it kind of is. And I'm going to hit on this in a second in the Outback Takehouse. But the holes in Luka's game, do you think they're more glaring than in a lot of other players' games? Because, there's some pretty amazing passing. There's some pretty just stupid shooting. But I feel like we do see, I think Luka is a great highlights player. And he sort of keeps filling in the gap. So he'll hit a stupid three. And you're like, wow, he just hits stupid threes all the time. But you don't see the 3 stupid threes that he doesn't hit. But then you'll see an amazing pass. And you're like, oh, that was really good. But you don't see the amazing pass that's like a horrible, like his teammate's looking the other way. And then Luka gets angry at the teammate. It's a weird one. But anyway, someone did point out that that's kind of like, there is meant to be help on that play. So he kind of got burned. And it wasn't really his fault. But at the same time, that sounds like a lot of Luka apologizing for me. Is there any hope for Patch Williams? Yeah, nah. I mean, I've said for quite literally a long time now, years, that Patrick Williams is not a great basketball player because he doesn't seem to know how to play basketball. He went 1 of 7 from 3, 7-1-1 with 3 turnovers and minus 24 in today's game against Houston. So he shot 2 of 9, 1 of 7 from 3, and he was 2 of 2 at the line. He's getting paid $18 million a year from 2024 to 2029. He's just, like you're just hoping that he keeps improving, but jeez. Chicago are just sitting there going, what are we doing? Like you're meant to be like the defensive stopper and we just can't fucking play you. It's brutal. Anyway, continue to go against Chicago when it comes to the overs. All right, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Hey, Steph was asked who the best 5-man NBA roster ever would include. Steph said Shaq at center, Tim Duncan at power forward, LeBron at 3, MJ at the 2, and me at the 1. The unpopular opinion might be, fuck, I don't mind that. Like, everybody at their peaks, holy shit. Shaq, Timmy Duncan, LeBron, MJ, Steph. Oh, I mean, Magic, Bird, Wilt, Kareem, Kobe up against him. That'd be an interesting fucking match. Let's go. I want to build this out a little bit more later in the week, or maybe next week. But like the best 5-man NBA roster. Start asking. Fuck yeah. That's a great one though. Shaq, Tim Duncan, LeBron, MJ, Steph. Very nice. All right. Time for a bit of an Outback Takehouse. It's Monday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah, that's right. We took the squids to daycare and school this morning. Bloody skateboard and a bloody cricket bat, and bang, 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 bomb. We cornered a possum out in the backyard before we left. I've had it slow roasting ever since, so it's slow roasted possum today, only at Outback. Tell you what, the squids beat it to just an absolute pulp, so it's really tender. Really juicy, and it's only at Outback. That's right, slow roasted possum. Today's flame grilled take is: should Dallas trade LUKA? Only at Outback. So we talked about the trade Zion idea for the Pelicans the other day, and LUKA, they're never going to trade him. You can't trade LUKA, but I'm fat. Like, this is like LUKA and the Mavs made the NBA Finals last year. How they respond for the rest of this year is fascinating. And, like, I don't want to really bang on too much about Dallas, but they are struggling, right? 7-7. They won these 2 games. They won the second one without LUKA. And you're not going to trade one of the 3 best, top 5, 3 best players, 3 best MVP candidate at all. I want to see if he can improve is kind of my question. Like what's the next level from him? Is it just is it efficiency? Is it cutting down on turnovers? Is it not fucking shit glaring his teammates into oblivion and blaming everybody else but himself? I don't know. But it was interesting watching them play today without him. And like Kyrie not even really taking over, and just the way, like, it was way too much Najee Marshall. It's like, why is he fucking handling the ball at any point? Nearly fucking cost him the game at the end. But at the same time, like Spencer Dinwiddie, Jaden Hardy, like everybody ate. Q Grimes, like Klay Thompson could not fucking hit a shot. He was 1 of 11. He should have been on the Spud list. I forgot to chuck him on there. But PJ Hamilton Washington having the 27 and 17, like Gafford being like super handy with 11 and 12. It's amazing to see a team like that excel and beat the best team in the West in OKC without their best player. Just saying, bit of food for thought. All right. Quick Australian player watch right after Hammer.
This is Shane Heel, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, time for the NBA Straya Australian Player Watch for Monday, November 18. Let's do it. Box Hill Benny, Ben Simmons in a 124-122 loss to New York. He played 25 minutes. He managed 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting. Not great. He had 7 rebounds and 5 assists, though. Not bad. 1 steal, 1 foul. In today's loss to the Knicks, he had one in that was a 114-104. He played 22 minutes and he could not hit a shot. 0 of 3 from the floor. 0 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. Not bad. 3 turnovers, 3 fouls, and 1 steal. Up and down weekend, I'll tell you. Josh Giddey! Hey, that's right. Giddy up. The mop-top Mamba himself. 144-126. They got smashed by Cleveland. He only managed 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. That was Josh Giddey's worst game of the season. He shot 2 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3. He had a steal and 4 fouls. It was a bad game. In the 143-107 loss to Houston today. Yeah, Chicago aren't playing much defense at the moment. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, a block and a turnover and a foul. He was a -10 in his 21 minutes, was Giddey. Again, another rough game. 3 of 10 shooting, 1 of 6 from 3 this time, 2 of 2 at the line. Josh Green had a good weekend, though. He has finally bounced back. He finally rediscovered his shot. So in the 115-114 win over Milwaukee, it's Algonquin for the good man. He had 15 points, 10 of them in a very brief burst at the start of the game. He had 15, 5, and 5 in this game with 3 steals. Josh Green is back. I love it. 5 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown. As long as the shot is dropping, he looks unreal. 2 of 2 at the free throw line as well. And then in the loss today to Cleveland 128-114 loss, he scored 15 points again. He had 4 rebounds and 2 assists. He also shot 6 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 2 from downtown. Greeny is back. Exciting times. Johnny Furphy played in the first game against the Heat for the Pacers over the weekend. In the loss, he played 9 minutes. He had 0 points, but he had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block. He also had 2 turnovers, but he didn't take a shot. So, and then he got a did not play coach's decision in the second game. Jingling Joe Ingles. Good to see him out there for the Wolves. He inbounded the ball at the end of the game that led to the Julius Randle game-winning three. Was it because of Jingles? Probably. Was that the only time he got in the game? Yes. He quite literally played that tiny sliver of time. He had 1 assist, and he was a +3 because Julius Randle hit the 3 off his pass. But I love that the Wolves trust Joe Ingles so much that it's like, here's a game-winning situation. It's all tied. We need a great inbound passer, Jingles. And he's like, oh yeah, no worries. Check this out. Bang. Other than that, he copped a did not play coach's decision in the game against the Kings. So, good stuff from Jingling Joe Ingles. All right, who else? Who's next? Dyson Daniels, 25 points, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 6 more steals in that big win over Washington, 129-117. He shot 10 of 14 in that game, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 at the line. He had a pretty rough one against Portland, though, today. 110-114 in overtime. They lose that game. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, 2 steals. That's not bad, Jim. He also had 6 turnovers. Yeah, it was a bit of a rough one, I tell you. He also didn't shoot very well because he ended up shooting an abysmal 5 of 17. 1 of 5 from downtown. But the 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block, pretty good. The 6 turnovers was brutal. But that entire team, they had 25 turnovers, the Hawks, in that game. Everybody was turning the ball over. Just like, I don't know, the Pacific Northwest. Just a bit dewy in the air. My hands are all slippery trying to touch the ball. Anyway, I guess. I'm not a meteorologist. Not anymore. Patty Mills copped a couple of did not play coaches' decisions today against the Clippers as well for the Jazz, and in their other game as well where they lost to the Kings. Tough one for Patty, that's all right. Jock Landale and Jack McVeigh both got 3 minutes in that win over the Clippers on the weekend. They both didn't bother the scorers. I think Jock had a foul and Jack McVeigh didn't have anything. But then today, in the win over Chicago, both of them got out there for a bit. Jock was really good. He played 16 minutes. He had 5 points. He shot 2 of 7, 1 and 2 from the line, but he had 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks to go 2 turnovers and a foul. And Jack McVeigh played the 4 minutes in that game as well. He had 2 points. He shot 1 of 4 from the floor, 0 of 3 from downtown, and had a block. Aussie Matty T and Duop both did not play coaches' decisions against Atlanta. And Alex Dukas hasn't gotten out there again for OKC for just a little bit. I mean, it would have been fun, but yeah, he got out there against the Spurs for that last second of the blowout win, but outside of that, didn't play on the weekend. And there you go. So that's Australian Player Watch for today, November 18. Right, let's do an Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence, if I can remember where the button is. Jim, where's the button? Well, I don't know. I'm busy too many studios.
Andrew Gaze Grey Mamba.
Outstanding achievement here.
All right, let's do it. De'Aaron Fox scored 109 points in 27 hours. Basically, did it within a day. It's the second most points in the non-Wilt Chamberlain division that a player has ever scored on a back-to-back. By 1. Seriously, Kobe did it. He had 110 total points in a back-to-back. De'Aaron Fox rips off 109. Not bloody bad. Anytime you're in a conversation with Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, De'Aaron Fox, you've done pretty bloody well. That is some excellence, and he achieved it. Great job. All right, let's do a bit of a Patty Mills Game Day, Ball Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's see what he's up to. What about Nick K? Oh, with the squid. That looks awesome. Oh, there's Luke Travers. Here we go. Travers doing the walk-ins with Sprite. Looking pretty good in his blue jeans. Those are horrible jeans, though. I'm not going to lie. What are you doing, Luke? And then the Cavs Hornets game. 15-0. Let them know. Love that for Luke Travers. Love that for the Cavs. Happy days all round. Travers got out there for that game. I didn't even check with that because I thought he was in the G League. He played 2 minutes. He had 1 rebound and 1 turnover in his 2 minutes. Good job, Luke Travers. All right. What about some game previews for tomorrow? Game previews! Game previews! Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How was the weekend? Oh, very good. Very chill one, actually. Old mate leaving to go to the States. It was all good. Hung out with the Squids. Went to Dropkick Murphys. Hung out with the old boy for his birthday on Saturday. Up in Ballarat. Fanged up and back. Anyway. we will do an accounting of all the picks and where we're standing at, but after going 9 of 12 on Saturday, we're flying against the line. So we've got a pretty interesting slate tomorrow for Tuesday. Chicago go to Detroit. The way Chicago are playing and playing defense, Detroit should smash them. So I'm going to go Detroit minus 3.5 there in a heartbeat. Philly with Joel Embiid, questionable, in Miami with probably no Jimmy Butler at this point. Philly are plus 3.5. 3.5 point underdogs in Miami. Jared McCain up against that Miami defense. If Paul George plays, I reckon Philly have actually probably got a bit of a shot though. I think the most disappointing thing from Philly is that their defense has been that bad. Tyler Hero just might get off the chain and delete them. But I'll take Philly plus 3.5 in a little bit of an upset in Miami because Miami, I just don't like a lot of the stuff they do. If Embiid plays, then you're laughing. Washington go to the Knickerbockers. Now, these big lines, so plus 13.5. I keep making the joke that Washington lose by an average of 20.5 when they do lose. They've actually brought that average down a little bit. And the Knicks are coming off a back-to-back where Cat sort of hurt his back a couple of times and was just a bit proppy. So my guess is that he won't be playing tomorrow, Karl Anthony Towns. They lost by 20 to the Pistons today, the Washington Wizards. They lost by 12 to the Hawks the other day. That's their bogey team. They lost by 9 to the Spurs. 13.5 against a Knicks team that could maybe be resting Cat. In MSG, Kuzma and Poole. I'm going to give Washington a bit of a shot here. So give me Washington plus 13.5 against the Knicks. Indy go to Toronto. I don't know why Indy are only 4.5 point favorites. They are on a back-to-back. I get it. But Toronto are bad. BAD, real bad. To the point where, they're out there just going, we need a hardship exemption, maybe, please. And the Pacers are pretty good. So I'm going to take the Pacers minus 4.5. I'll actually check some of these lines. They might have changed since I wrote them down earlier. But still, we're going Indy minus 4.5. Then we have Houston at Milwaukee. Can the Bucks bounce back from the weekend of disappointment? Their 3.5 point favorites are the Bucks. The Houston Rockets are really good. They just deleted the Bulls. But it does sort of feel like the Rockets have played a lot of games in the last sort of week. So if we have a look at the the Rockets schedule, they have played, obviously, over the weekend, they had the back-to-back games where they just smoked teams. And they're now riding a 5-game winning streak. But since last Monday, they have played in Detroit, home against Washington, 2 home games against the Clippers, and then again against Chicago. So that's all since last Monday. So they've played 5 games in 7 days, basically, and now have a game against Milwaukee. I feel like we might have to go the Bucks here. At the same time, isn't this the point of having so many dudes for Houston? So you're not tired? Houston are good. Screw it. We're going Houston. Plus 3.5. I don't care about them being tired. That is a lot of games, though. They played Detroit Monday, Tuesday. They played the back-to-back. So Monday, Tuesday, Detroit, Washington. Then Thursday, Saturday, the games against the Clippers. And then again on Monday. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 games in 7 days. Bloody hell. Anyway, I'll still take Houston. Screw it. Orlando go to Phoenix. And as I mentioned, Orlando away from home, bad. Phoenix don't have Kevin Durant on a back-to-back. They did play the early game. I might go Phoenix here, plus 1.5. Orlando on the road. I just want to steer clear of it until they win a couple more. Atlanta, they go to Sacramento. They've got a couple of bigs to throw at the Souvlaki King, don't they? So we'll see if Atlanta can do it. I think I'll take Atlanta plus 4.5 in a bit of a bounce-back spot. The Kings didn't have the Souvlaki King. I mean, I think they've already ruled the Souvlaki King out. So, yeah, we might actually go Atlanta plus 4.5 in that. I think Trae Young against those guards should be able to get off the chain. So, and getting 4.5, let's go, Atlanta. And then finally, Golden State Warriors against the Clippers. The Warriors are only 2.5 point favorites against the Clippers, who are coming off a game today against the Jazz. They got a little bit squirrely towards the end where they ended up winning by 11. I'm taking the Warriors minus 2.5. That should be a much bigger line, I think. Yeah, give me the Warriors. Give me Steph and Co. And off we go. And that's it for today. That is the Weekend Wrap Show. How good was that? It was a bit rushed just because I got to go get the squid from daycare. Sorry. Oh, it's still an hour. Come on, it's a daily show, mate. If I'm giving you an hour every day, bloody hell. Oh, it's just me talking. Anyway, big one today. That was fun. We'll be back tomorrow, though, to wrap up tomorrow's games, it looks like at the moment. I've got to do NFL Straya solo tomorrow as well, so it might be, I think the Tuesday shows we try to do a lot quicker and a lot shorter. We'll try to do that again tomorrow, but you won't miss anything. In the meantime, though, make sure you're getting around NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube. That's the big one. Jump on YouTube. Jump on the comments, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we do a good job there. It's fun. Get around NFL Straya as well. Just myself this week, but it's usually me and Gaz, which is always good. And all the other shows that we do. The AFLW Today show, the Cricket Today podcast, which is back and flying. The Football Today podcast for your soccer needs. And of course, hold all tickets for your GGs. Check a rating and review on your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you use on your Android phone. It does help out heaps. Please do it. I don't ask for much. You can also, when you watch on the YouTube, you can see what awesome Sonics t-shirt I'm wearing today. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. So do House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinated Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sex Jedi, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear through the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Have you listened to your tunes? NBA Straya Sports Train Band, so should you. All right, that's it. We'll catch you tomorrow quickly, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look, just seriously, mate, just look after yourselves, would you? Stay safe out there. We love you guts. And later, Hosanna!